On this episode of Just Informed Talk, more incredible proofs of Q. Plus, we have insights about what is going on with Adam Schiff, and there's just a whole bunch of breaking news that you guys are going to stick around and watch right here on Just Informed Talk. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. I always like to start by saying thank you to everyone who's hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, please come here to the landing page, click the big red subscribe button, and make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you get notified when these videos get posted. And don't forget to hit the like button if you guys like this content and want to see me create more. So here's what we're going to pick up today. It's Q Post 3241. We left off last video at Q Post 3240. And I always encourage everyone to come back here and watch these last videos. You want to get caught up on the last Q posts. And if you don't know what QAnon is and you're scratching your head going, what's this guy talking about? I encourage you to watch this video right here. What is QAnon and the Great Awakening? So today we got a little bit to cover, and it might be a little bit of a shorter video, but that is okay because we have some pretty interesting stuff to go over. So let's go ahead and look at it. First is this tweet from President Trump where he says, Congressman Adam Schiff, who spent 2 years knowingly and unlawfully lying and leaking, should be forced to resign from Congress. Yeah, I would say that's a fair statement to make. And, you know, you have to see these incredible stories coming out today. This story is just breaking out of thehill.com where it talks about Twitter is considering labeling Trump tweets that violate rules. So, you know, just like how you watch a video on YouTube and the Wajiki, the CEO of YouTube made it so that now you see a Wikipedia article at the bottom. If they talk about whatever, 9/11, or they talk about the moon landing, you'll see a little Wikipedia article on there. It's like, yeah, just in case, whatever this guy says, let me just editorialize his words for you by giving you this piece of information. That's what they're going to try to do to President Trump. And to me, it's hilarious. It's like, yeah, go ahead. Keep digging your own grave. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure that you going after President Trump is exactly what is going to lead to your own demise. You're going to go after the President of the United States, the leader of the free world. You think this is going to end well for you, Twitter? I have news for you. It's not. But anyway, we already have that anyway. Look, we have the Krasenstein shill patrol at the bottom of each one of President Trump's tweets. So why would you even need to add anything to that? We already have the other side of the argument from the paid shill brothers. So, you know, I mean, to me, it's just disgusting and it's sick. I even tweeted out about this because it just was that upsetting. I just said, what kind of Twilight Zone are we in where we let these people censor the speech of the President of the United States? They're digging their own graves, as far as I'm concerned. So the next one here is a quote where it says, Congressman Adam Schiff, who spent 2 years knowingly and unlawfully lying and leaking, should be forced to resign from Congress. That's the quote from the tweet we just read. Key word here, knowingly. And Q stresses knowingly. And we're going to get into that a little bit later in the tweets or in the Q posts here because it's going to explain exactly what that means. Leaking investigations can lead to forced resignations. Knowingly disseminating false information is illegal. Gang of 8 intel Q. So what's being insinuated here is that Adam Schiff has been leaking intel from the Gang of 8, which is illegal. So we're going to get into what the significance of knowingly is a little bit later, as I said, so you guys are going to want to stick around and see that. The next one here is another tweet from Representative Doug Collins, who's just been dropping these transcripts of all these interviews, testimonies on us for quite some time now. And now we have Nellie Oars. Wow, what's interesting about this one is exactly what Q points us to. Q says page 17. Well, let's go and look and read what page 17 says. So this is an interview where Nellie Oar, Bruce Oar's wife, who were told by Q a long time ago was basically a clown, came from the farm, you know, CIA, and this is Jim Jordan interrogating her, or actually interviewing her on Capitol Hill, and we're just going to read through it. It says, Mrs. Orr says, sorry? Jim Jordan says, walk me through the clients you did contract work for with, or was this the U.S. government? Ms. Orr says, yes, it was the U.S. government, basically. Mr. Jordan says, various agencies in the United States government. Ms. Orr says, yes. Jim Jordan says, tell me the agencies. Now her lawyer chimes in and says, I'm not sure how to address this. I'm not sure what the U.S. government's agency's positions are, given various agreements she signed as parts of her independent contracting relationships. So she's willing to answer questions. I just don't want to put her at risk of violating employment agreements she had at the time, especially with the U.S. government agencies. Jim Jordan says, is it fair to say you worked for some of the intelligence-based agencies in the United States government? Nellie Orr says, yes. Jim Jordan says, did you work for the CIA? And then her lawyer chimes in again and says, again, I would raise the same concerns, sir, if I were going to get into specifics. Jim Jordan says, okay. And for how long did you do that, and how many different contracts did you have? And Nellie Orr says, starting in 2000, I did some part-time contracting for MITRE, which is a contract. And then Jim Jordan says, and then they say he didn't hear, and it goes on. So there you have it. That's basically her confirming the fact that she worked for intelligence agencies, and under advisement of counsel, she was not allowed to actually name the clowns in action, but we all know she was over at the farm, and that just makes everything make even more sense. Her and her husband basically pushing these fake narratives into the DOJ and FBI and weaponizing them to go after the president to get this FISA warrant. That's exactly what we're looking at. Not many other ways you can read that. And next one gets into Eric Holder. You guys will remember him, the former Attorney General under President Barack Obama Hussein, and basically gives us his Fox News article, which talks about Eric Holder making the statement, exactly when did you think America was great? This is literally the people who are formerly in the highest positions of power in our country. They don't think America was ever great. They think that everything that happened from 1776 to 2016 was just complete and utter terribleness. What if I said I thought America was great when you were in office? Well, I mean, hypothetically speaking, I guess America never really was great. It's 2019. You were in office for 8 years. Or your president's administration had 8 years, I should say. And obviously America was never great before that. This is crazy. These people are anti-American. They're anti everything that was great about this country. What was great about this country? I don't know, the Constitution, Bill of Rights. All the intrinsic freedoms were guaranteed through those documents. The sacrifice of soldiers and the sacrifice of families to make this country what it is today. I could keep going. Technology, innovation, the world's best and most free and open democracy. No, I guess we were never great, though. I guess we were just never, ever great. You know what, Eric? You're totally right. We were never great, and we never will be great again because we were never great at all. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that. What an inspiring piece of... What an inspiring quote to share with us. Anyway, it says, they do not love you or America. Welcome to the Democrat Party con Q. And yeah, that's basically it. If you can get up on a platform in front of an audience and say America was never great, and then everyone's cheering, it's just insanity. It's like, what world are we living in? I feel like every day I wake up and take crazy pills. I'm sorry, it's baffling. So here's the file name for the PNG here. It's gloves will be off, and President Trump's got a rally tonight at 7. I'll be tuning in. You should tune in. It's going to be epic. It's going to be huge, and it's going to be awesome. So bigly. It's going to be bigly awesome. So go check it out. But I love this. 1st and 10 at the 50 Q. That means we're going on offense. That means it's our drive into the red zone. This is what is happening now. We're coming up on the biggest election probably of our lives since the last one. 2020 is going to be just as important as 2016 moving forward, especially to continuing the agenda of the administration in power now, the Trump administration. So you can either go with Trump or you can go with the Democrats who say America was never great. They want free everything. They want to tax you until you're broke. And they want these fantastic ideas where we're going to take a bus trip to Hawaii. And no more cows. You can't have any hamburgers. No more steaks for you. Sorry, pal. That's what they want. That's their platform. And other things, like they support third-term abortions, a.k.a. infanticide. I mean, this is insanity. There we go. An anon finding something very cleverly picking this up. This is actually the worldwide trends on Twitter, and one of them is hashtag I stand with Schiff. Oh, I'm sure that just organically made its way into the worldwide trends because everybody's with Schiff. They, you know what's so crazy? They game these platforms against us and our movement, and they game it against conservatives. And then they act like, oh, this is just natural. This totally is like natural. But one of the Anons points out something very interesting. The Anon says, notice which worldwide Twitter trend they aren't reporting numbers for. Oh, I see. See how they all have official tweet numbers? Oh, except for the first one, I guess. But then it says here literally nothing. It just says GOP members on House Intelligence Committee call for Adam Schiff's resignation. Hashtag I stand with Schiff. I'm sure you do, Jack Dorsey. I'm sure you do stand with Schiff because he's been basically running cover for all you sickos out there in big tech Silicon Valley. And we're exposing you little by little. And you're going to go after the president and you're going to go after all conservatives in this country. We see right through your deception. We are coming to end your control. Mark my words on that. Q says corrupted and controlled, and then it gives this Fox News article, which is exactly what we went over earlier in the article. I'm sorry for the repetitive nature, but these posts are coming in. Twitter may annotate Trump's tweets and those of other officials if they violate its rules. Are you kidding me? This country and its freedoms are what made Twitter possible. And now they're going to turn around in some dystopic Orwellian move and say, we're gonna police what you think and say. And we're going to editorialize your words because it's a part of what our truth is. And our truth is much more qualified and better than your truth. That's what they're telling you. You can read these articles. I'll leave links. But look, the fact of the matter is we're in a literal battle against these people. And their overreach and censorship is becoming obvious. So we're going to continue to expose it here. And I will not stop until they realize that they cannot shut down the American people. They cannot shut down the First Amendment. And they cannot shut down our Constitution and our constitutional rights and protections in this country, like they're doing in Europe right now with Article 13. It's exactly what George Orwell described is what they're doing. I feel like everybody's just so jaded or numb to it on the left that they're in these comas. They're zombies. They don't see what's happening because I hate to get on so much of a rant today. It's just so maddening because if you think that they're just going to come for us and stop, you are so mistaken. They are coming for everyone. First, it'll be us, conservatives. It'll be Donald Trump and the conservative movement that was built behind him. But if you don't think once they get rid of us that they're coming for you and your free speech on the left, you are sadly mistaken. Mark my words on that. You can, like Bongino says, take that check to the bank and cash it, because that's where we're at. Now, the next one here is an older post from Q back we got in August of 2018, where Q lays it all out. We've had this information since August of 2018 and before. There was a spy operation coordinated through the White House using the CIA and John Brennan and the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper. And it used top officials at the DOJ and the FBI and certain senators. Look, we have it all here. I'm not going to go through this again, but if you read these and you know what these, two-letter abbreviations stand for, their names, and this is giving you the whole setup, how it worked from top to bottom. This is what they did to the president. This is how they weaponized the FISA court. This is how they took fake news and used it to go after a U.S. citizen, to meddle in the 2016 election. And then they pushed this hoax into 2018 all the way up into 2019 to steal the 2018 election in the House. Don't believe me? Look at the statistics. Look at the numbers of people who believed that President Trump, it's like over 50% of people were like, yeah, he's a Russian agent. That's the president of the United States. They convinced half our country that he was working as a foreign agent against our country. If that doesn't boil your blood, I don't know what will. Sorry, it's just, I can't take this. It's just so maddening. And here's a tweet from Paul Sperry where he says McCain coordinated with James Clapper on the rollout of the dossier based on ICA and the ICA briefings to Obama, Trump, and Congress in January of 2017 ahead of the Trump inauguration. Wow! This is exactly what Q was telling us. Didn't you guys see right here? No Name, Media, John Brennan, James Clapper, Leaks, POTUS Daily Brief, FBI. They knew what they were doing. They were pushing this thing. It came out now. The aide for John McCain was the one who gave the dossier to everyone, and John McCain's office was the one pushing it out to everyone. The fake news that was used to go after the president. Ladies and gentlemen, we have so much more than we know, and it's going to come out. The truth will come out. Now, the next one's pretty incredible. One of the Anons here basically made all these proofs. So first you have this watch, and it was like, look at the reflections. And this guy, I can't even, this is crazy. This guy took all these like little close-up shots of the reflection on this watch and basically found out where the watch was, which direction it was pointing, which way the camera was pointing at it, where the picture was taken, obviously in the Oval Office. And then again, here's another one. This one is obviously in the Oval Office again. They're talking about where the watch is. This is crazy stuff too. I'm like, whoa, right? And then of course, again here, another picture of the watch where you look at the reflection and you realize it's in the Oval Office. Now, for me personally, I didn't really need to do the whole reflection thing to know that it was in the Oval Office. That's kind of where I assumed it was being taken from. That's where I assume a lot of this, because it was either like one was in the Oval, or a few have been in the Oval Office. One was on Air Force One. So there's been others where you can see in the reflection where it is, obviously. But that's pretty incredible. And Q just says, have you applied to an intel agency? Q. Yeah, if you're this good, you should probably, go over and apply to be a forensic analysis. We need patriots who love our country. Like I said, we need people who will protect the Constitution. We need people who are just American patriots who don't despise and want to destroy our country. People who think that America was great at one point and not that it was never great. That's the kind of people I want in these agencies. I'm sorry, is that crazy? You guys let me know down in the comments. I mean, seriously. The next one here is pretty interesting. This is a part of the statutes on, I guess, what you would define as treason or sedition, however that comes, but it's advocating the overthrow of the government, obviously against law, saying whoever knowingly or willfully advocates, abets, advises, or teaches the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying the government of the United States or the government of any state, territory, district, or possession thereof. So, again, this goes right back to this post from Q. Knowingly, knowingly, knowingly. President Trump said in his Twitter that Adam Schiff knowingly and unlawfully lied and leaked. So you can come back to this and you can read it and say, well, we may have a case here. So, I mean, look, it says, if they do this, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both, and shall be ineligible for employment by the United States or any department or agency thereof for the 5 years next following his conviction. So that's a pretty big set of jail time. You get up to 20 years for knowingly or willfully advocating an overthrow of the government, which seems to be what was happening. That's what this whole coup attempt was. They spied on him, they tried to set him up, and then they tried to basically impeach him and to overthrow our government and to steal power away from a duly elected, democratically elected president. Do we understand? 5-5, is that clear? If you guys read more into it, let me know. Now, these last few posts, this one is a tweet from President Trump saying, the FBI and the DOJ to review the outrageous Jussie Smollett case in Chicago. It is an embarrassment to our nation. Oh, where did I see that before? Let's scroll back to the past Q posts. Looks at this. This is like I got goosebumps. So they gave us this Fox News article about internal emails from the this Kim Fox lady, the attorney in Cook County who dropped the charges, state attorney. And Q says, Feds, DOJ will prosecute. It shall be done. Oh, wow. Lo and behold, the very next day we have President Trump tweeting that the FBI and the DOJ are going to review it. Q proof much? Seriously. Another proof of Q. Q told us yesterday this was going to happen. Now President Trump tweets it out. Just a coincidence. Nothing to see here, guys. Absolutely nothing to see here. Right? Here we go. Here's Ben Carson. He's actually tweeting out that the HUD, the Housing and Urban Development Agency, is charging Facebook for violating the Fair Housing Act by encouraging, enabling, and causing housing discrimination through the company's advertising platform. You are not going to last. And here's the other thing. If you go over, there's articles already coming out just today or yesterday where Facebook is extending its ban on hate speech to, you guessed it, white nationalists. Now, this is racist. First of all, what's wrong with being a nationalist, somebody who loves your country? I don't get that. And then you're just saying it's white, so you're being racist by saying, you're categorically saying that only people who are nationalists and white are capable of hate speech. Because you can't go after black nationalists. You can't go over after a Native American nationalist. You can't go after, you name it, nationalists. You put in the minority. But if it's white, it's okay. See, this is the world we live in today, where obviously these people are just blatant racists. And I don't understand it, because I was raised, you don't look at skin color, you don't judge people based on their skin color, you judge them based on their character, I should say. But apparently, being of a certain skin color makes you obviously guilty of evil, of hate speech, of just all types of things. Isn't this great? Do you love this world we live in today? Yeah. I mean, what do I say? What do you do? USA versus LifeLog, first of many. Q. Yes. Mark Zuckerberg, you better get lawyers. Just like you said in that stupid movie where you pretend to be the genius that started Facebook. You better lawyer up, buddy, because we're coming for you. The United States is coming to take back its program. And maybe change it along the way. I've actually tried to quit Facebook because I can't stand it. And it is basically, you're basically self-submitting your own information for them to spy on you with. I mean, that's just me. So, first of many, yeah, maybe we'll have many more lawsuits to come. Here we go. Everyone getting ready for the rally tonight. I'm excited for the rally. I hope you're excited for the rally tonight. Yeah, do it, Q. We got this. Grand Rapids does love Q as well as the rest of this country. God bless you all out there in Grand Rapids. What a cool thing to see. Q says, we love you, Q. And of course, here is another Anon who says, thanks, QAnon. Sorry, my highlighting skills aren't exactly straight. A little bumpy here. I'm trying to get better at keeping a straight hand. So this is funny. I guess that they're being thanked for pointing this out, what we just saw, the reading of the advocating overthrow of the government with the knowingly highlighted. Maybe perhaps this was the person who made the graphic that Q used. So, that being said, yeah, I think that is kind of just what Q wants us to look at. So, Q says, thank you, Patriots. Sometimes our sniffer picks and pulls without applying credit file. Q. Oh, so they're using sniffers to get the info. It's so cool. And I'm thinking that the sniffer is referring to this packet analyzer, which is basically a computer software hardware that can intercept and log traffic passing over a digital network, which is how they probably draw out some of the information they need to look at. For instance, put a hashtag like Q in, and it will pick up all the Q posts on Twitter or whatever, so you can scan through them easily. Now, I know you could use the Twitter search function, but then you'd be relying on their corrupt algorithms, which nobody would ever in their right mind do. So, with that being said, I think we covered pretty much everything I wanted to get to, but before you go, a few things you can do to help the channel out. First of all, come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. And if you guys want to see more of this content, go down and hit the like button. That helps out big time. Watch these videos and share them on your social media. Get the word out that way. I really appreciate it, and I can't tell you how much that helps. Also, a few other ways you can help out the channel. First of all, come over here and find me on Twitter at JustInformYou. It's a cool way to get involved. You can come connect with me over on Twitter. Again, it's at JustInformYou, the official Twitter account for Just Informed Talk. Don't forget to check out justinformednews.com, which is the official website for Just Informed Talk, where you get links to all the Q stuff, links to different news websites, and you get these breaking news articles, and all the videos from the YouTube channel are right here, so you can go check that out. Another way to help out the channel is to come over here to Patreon, patreon.com. Links will be in the description. By the way, links to everything that we covered here on the channel today will be in the description, but links will be in the description of this. It's basically a crowdfunding website. You give a monthly donation. You come here to this link, click this button, become a patron, set it and forget it, and know you're helping create content on this channel. And like I've said, without you guys, I would have never made it this far, and I hope to keep going into the future. So I thank you so much for your support here. It really makes a huge difference. And I have a GoFundMe set up. If you want to make a one-time donation, that helps out big time as well, or you want to do it anonymously, you can do that. I really appreciate all of the help. So before we go, I want to take a minute and talk about God's grace, do a segment we do at the end of this every episode where we talk about God's grace and how it is truly greater. For today's verse, I want to go to the book of Micah, chapter 7, verses 18 and 19. I just want to share these with you. It says, "Who is a God like you, removing iniquity and passing over rebellion for the remnant of his inheritance? He does not hold on to his anger forever, because he delights in faithful love. He will again have compassion on us. He will vanquish our iniquities. You will cast all our sins into the depths of the sea." And that's what our faith can bring. By opening our heart to God and embracing that love, you have to understand that God has the power to cleanse us of our sins. And that's why we ask for forgiveness. That's why we repent and we look to God to help us find our way in this world. Every day I get up and I pray and I look to God and I ask him to make me his most humble servant, to put me on his path, do his will, to be a force of good, to share words that help others, to be a light in the world. That's all I want to be. Of course I have an opinion. I'm not perfect. I can get upset. I can have fun and joke, but I never do any of that without having God first. I put God first above everything, and then I go look at everything else. And that's the way we all should be, in my opinion. So if you're wondering, how to get closer to God, how to open that door again, just say a prayer. That's all it is. Say a prayer and let that be the first step on your path toward redemption. And you can find Christ, because Christ will always be there for you, as well as God will always be there for you. And the Holy Spirit, they're all there for you, always. So remember that. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and leave it. I want to say thank you for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. A few more things. If you haven't already, come here, click the big red subscribe button. It helps the channel out big time. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. And again, hit that like button if you guys want to see more of this content. But like I said, thank you for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.